The mining colony of Haven's Rest exploded in a brilliant flash of plasma fire. David Reed watched from his freighter's viewport as 300 human lives vanished in seconds. The alien warships hung in space like predators, their sleek hulls gleaming with satisfaction. His hands shook as he gripped the control console, forcing himself to remain calm. "Another illegal expansion," announced Commander Thax of the Krex Empire through the communication channel. The reptilian's voice carried obvious pleasure. "Humans never learn. Your species lacks the intelligence for proper territorial management," David bit back his response. The mining operation had been completely legal under galactic law, but the Krex didn't care about laws when it came to humans. They saw Earth's children as nothing more than useful animals, good for manual labor and little else. His cargo hold was full of rare minerals that would feed Krex war machines, payment for the privilege of existing in their space. "Understood, Commander," David replied, his voice carefully neutral. "The Horizon's Edge will report this incident to Earth Command." Thax's laughter crackled through the speakers. "Earth Command. Such grand words for a collection of primitive vessels held together with metal scraps. Tell your leaders this. Next time we find humans where they don't belong, we won't bother with warnings." The Krex ships jumped to hyperspace, leaving David alone with the debris field that had once been a thriving colony. He activated his emergency beacon and began recording salvage data, following protocols that made him sick. Every lost human life had to be documented, categorized, and reported like inventory damage. Back on Earth, Ambassador Williams sat in the Galactic Council chambers, enduring another session of humiliation. The massive amphitheater housed representatives from dozens of species, all of whom viewed humanity with barely concealed contempt. The Voidborn delegate, a shimmering energy being called Nexus, was explaining why humans needed additional restrictions on space travel. "The human breeding rate exceeds safe parameters," Nexus intoned, its voice like electronic music. "Their primitive ships leak radiation and contaminate trade routes. We propose limiting human vessels to sublight speeds in neutral zones." Williams nodded meekly, playing his role perfectly. "Earth accepts these wise restrictions. We understand our technology is far behind galactic standards." The insectoid hive representative clicked its mandibles in approval. "Humans show proper submission. This is why your species survives while others perish. Know your place and we may allow continued existence." Every word was carefully recorded by human intelligence networks. For 50 years, Earth had played the role of the galaxy's weakest member while secretly building something extraordinary. Williams returned to his quarters and activated a quantum communicator hidden in his desk drawer. "Stone here," came the reply from deep space. "The mask holds, Admiral," Williams reported. "They still see us as scrap metal in desperation. How are the preparations?" Admiral Stone's voice carried quiet satisfaction. "Project Sunbreaker is ahead of schedule. The last weapons tests exceeded all projections. When the time comes, the galaxy will learn what human engineering can accomplish." Far from any trade route, hidden in the shadow of a dead star, humanity's true fleet continued its work. The construction facility stretched for hundreds of kilometers, its automated systems building vessels that would redefine space warfare. These ships didn't just surpass alien technology. They operated on principles that most species couldn't comprehend. Dr. Ana Vasquez ran final diagnostics on the prototype's quantum drive system. The energy readings still amazed her, even after years of testing. A single human vessel could now generate more power than entire alien fleets. The gravitational manipulation systems could bend space itself, while the defensive grids created barriers that made alien shields look like tissue paper. "Beautiful work," she murmured, watching the drive core pulse with contained energy. "They think we're still throwing rocks at each other." Her assistant, Tom Bradley, checked the weapon systems display. "The irony is perfect. While they mock our primitive projectiles, we've learned to accelerate matter to relativistic speeds. Their energy beams can't even scratch our hull plating." The deception had required incredible discipline. Every human ship operating in alien space was deliberately obsolete, designed to look exactly as primitive as the galaxy expected. Real human technology remained hidden in facilities like this one, scattered throughout dark matter clouds and asteroid fields where alien sensors couldn't detect them. Captain Reed finally reached Earth's orbital stations after a week of travel. His cargo hold full of Krex payment, he docked with Station Alpha and submitted his usual reports. To any watching alien agents, he appeared to be just another struggling human merchant, barely keeping his ship operational. In reality, Station Alpha housed one of humanity's most advanced intelligence centers. Reed's trade goods included detailed scans of Krex military installations, weapon specifications, and fleet movement patterns. Every human vessel operating in alien space served as a spy platform, gathering information while playing their roles as harmless traders. "The Krex are getting bolder," Reed reported to his handler, Colonel Martinez. "They destroyed Haven's Rest without even pretending it was a legitimate military action." "The other species are taking notice," Martinez nodded grimly. "Intelligence suggests they're planning something larger. The Hive has been unusually active in their breeding chambers, and the Voidborn are consolidating their energy reserves. They may be preparing for a major offensive against human space. Let them come," Reed said quietly. "I'm tired of watching our people die while we pretend to be helpless." "Soon," Martinez promised. "Admiral Stone says the main fleet will be ready within months. When we finally drop the mask, the galaxy won't know what happened." The meeting ended with Reed returning to his ship for another trade run to alien space. He would continue playing the role of the struggling human merchant, his ship apparently held together with spare parts and determination, but hidden in his cargo hold were sensor packages more advanced than anything the aliens possessed, recording their every move and preparing for the day when humanity would reveal its true nature. The masquerade had cost thousands of human lives and decades of careful planning. Earth had endured mockery, restriction, and casual violence while building the most advanced fleet in galactic history. Soon, very soon, the aliens would learn why humans had earned a reputation for dangerous patience. The galaxy had mistaken Earth's strategic restraint for weakness, and that mistake would reshape the balance of power among the stars. Emergency sirens wailed across Earth's major cities as alien fleets filled the sky. Dr. Ana Vasquez looked up from her laboratory window to see massive Hive dreadnoughts hovering over New York like metallic storm clouds. Their organic hulls pulsed, with bioluminescent patterns that spelled doom for humanity in a dozen alien languages. The ultimatum had arrived 3 days ago through official diplomatic channels. Queen Zara of the Hive Collective had declared humanity's population growth an ecological threat to galactic stability. The solution was simple and brutal. Earth's 8 billion people would be reduced to 4 billion, with survivors relocated to labor camps on barren mining worlds. The Galactic Council had voted unanimously in favor of the plan. Ambassador Williams had played his part perfectly, begging for more time and offering desperate compromises. His apparent terror had convinced the aliens that humanity would submit without resistance. Even now, he broadcasted messages of surrender from the United Nations building while alien sensors recorded every word. "People of Earth," Williams said, his voice breaking with practiced fear, "we have no choice but to comply with the Council's demands. Prepare for relocation to assigned sectors. Do not resist the enforcement fleets." High above Earth's atmosphere, Commander Vex of the Krex battle fleet watched the human panic with satisfaction. His sensors showed exactly what he expected: primitive human vessels fleeing in all directions, their crews abandoning any pretense of military resistance. The pathetic Earth Defense Force had scattered at the first sight of alien firepower. "Humans make this too easy," Vex told his tactical officer. "Their ships can barely achieve orbit, let alone challenge a proper war fleet. We could destroy their entire military with a single squadron." The Voidborn Admiral Flux agreed from his position near Luna. Biological species always crumble when faced with superior technology. The humans serve one useful purpose as laborers, but their breeding habits threaten resource allocation throughout the sector. Neither alien commander noticed the subtle energy readings emanating from Earth's moon. Hidden beneath Luna's surface, humanity's most advanced monitoring station tracked every alien vessel with instruments that could detect quantum fluctuations across star systems. Admiral Stone watched the tactical display with cold satisfaction, as enemy ships moved into positions that had been planned for decades. "They're taking the bait perfectly," Stone reported to his fleet commanders scattered throughout the solar system. "Every major alien vessel is exactly where our projections indicated they would be. Phase 2 can begin on schedule." The Hive Queen's personal command ship, a living vessel the size of a small city, positioned itself directly above Earth's equator. Queen Zara herself oversaw the operation, her massive form connected to the ship's neural networks through organic cables. She felt the fear radiating from the planet below and found it delicious. "Begin the demonstration," she ordered. "Destroy one of their major population centers. The survivors will be more cooperative after witnessing our power." The Queen's bioweapons charged with horrific energy, preparing to sterilize New Tokyo, in a display that would convince any remaining human resistance of the futility of defiance. Her organic cannons could reduce entire continents to lifeless ash, and she intended to show the galaxy what happened to species that bred beyond their allocated quotas. "Captain," Reed received his final orders while docked at Mars Station Omega, apparently refueling for another routine cargo run. The message came through normal communication channels, but the encryption was anything but standard. His hands trembled slightly as he decoded Admiral Stone's words. "All units prepare for revelation. The masquerade ends in 6 hours. Humanity will answer 50 years of humiliation with absolute force. Make them remember why they should have feared us from the beginning." Reed's crew of 12 included some of Earth's most experienced covert operatives, each one carefully selected for their ability to maintain the deception under extreme pressure. Now they moved with military precision, activating hidden systems throughout their supposedly obsolete freighter. The Horizon's Edge began to transform from a rusted cargo hauler into something far more dangerous. "Stealth systems online," reported his tactical officer, Lisa Park. "All alien sensors reading us as standard human junk. They have no idea what we really are." "Weapon systems charging," added Tom Bradley from the engineering section. "The aliens are about to learn that human projectile weapons can do interesting things when accelerated to near light speed." Across human space, similar transformations were taking place. Trading vessels revealed themselves as advanced reconnaissance platforms. Mining ships unveiled sensor arrays more sophisticated than anything in the alien arsenal. Even the pathetic Earth Defense Force began powering up weapons that operated on principles the galaxy didn't understand. The trap had taken 50 years to prepare, but every element was falling into place with clockwork precision. Humanity had endured decades of mockery and casual violence while positioning their true assets exactly where they would be most effective. The aliens' contempt had made them predictable, and their arrogance had made them careless. Queen Zara's bio-cannons reached full charge as her targeting systems locked onto New Tokyo's population center. 8 million human lives hung in the balance as she prepared to demonstrate why species feared the Hive Collective. Her organic weapons pulsed with deadly energy, ready to reduce a major city to radioactive ash. "Fire," she commanded, expecting to watch humanity's largest population center disappear in a pillar of flame. Instead, her weapons simply stopped working. The biocannons discharged harmlessly into space as their organic neural network suddenly went dead. Across her massive vessel, systems began failing in cascade patterns that her technicians couldn't explain. Her ship's living hull shuddered as if in pain. "What is happening?" Queen Zara demanded, her psychic screams echoing through the command center. "Why have my weapons failed?" Her tactical coordinator's response chilled the Queen's chitinous heart. "Unknown interference, Your Majesty. All weapon systems showing massive neural disruption. Engine performance dropping to 30%. It's as if something is actively attacking our ship's biological systems." Throughout the alien fleets, similar malfunctions spread like a plague. Krex vessels found their plasma conduits mysteriously overloading. Void-borne energy matrices destabilized for no apparent reason. Even the most advanced alien technologies began failing simultaneously, as if the very laws of physics had turned against them. Commander Vex screamed orders at his crew as his flagship's main guns powered down without authorization. Emergency! Restart on all weapon systems. I want full combat capability restored immediately. Sir, we're detecting massive gravitational anomalies throughout the system, his sensor operator reported. Something is generating artificial gravity wells around our ships. We're being held in place by forces that shouldn't exist. From the dark side of Luna, hidden construction bays began opening to reveal humanity's greatest secret. The first vessel to emerge was a kilometer-long dreadnought that made alien warships look like toys. Its hull absorbed sensor beams like a black hole, while energy fields around its superstructure bent light itself into impossible patterns. Admiral Stone's voice echoed across all communication frequencies, reaching every alien vessel in the solar system with crystal clarity. Attention alien fleets. This is Admiral Stone of the Human Space Force. You have made a critical error in judgment. Prepare to witness what happens when humanity stops pretending to be weak. Space itself seemed to tear apart as the HSS Worldbreaker emerged from its hiding place behind Luna. The massive human dreadnought defied every principle of alien engineering, its hull rippling with energy fields that made reality bend around its edges. Where alien ships were built for intimidation and brute force, this vessel looked like it had been carved from the fabric of space-time itself. Queen Zara felt something she had never experienced in her centuries of conquest. Genuine fear. Her ship's biological sensors screamed warnings as they tried to analyze the human vessel, but the readings made no sense. According to her instruments, the ship existed in several dimensions simultaneously while somehow maintaining perfect structural integrity. This is impossible, she whispered through her neural link. No species possesses technology this advanced. The humans barely understand basic metallurgy. Commander Vex of the Krex fleet was having similar problems accepting what his sensors reported. The human ship's power output alone exceeded his entire battle group, and the energy patterns were unlike anything in known galactic databases. His crew ran diagnostic after diagnostic, convinced their instruments were malfunctioning. Sir, we're detecting similar vessels throughout the system, his tactical officer reported with obvious panic. They're decloaking from positions we never detected. How did they hide ships this large from our long-range sensors? The answer was becoming terrifyingly clear as more human vessels revealed themselves. They hadn't been hidden by conventional stealth technology, but by manipulation of space itself. Dozens of massive warships materialized from what had appeared to be empty vacuum, their hulls gleaming with technologies that violated the known laws of physics. Admiral Stone stood on the Worldbreaker's command deck, watching alien fleets struggle with systems that no longer responded to their commands. For 50 years he had dreamed of this moment when humanity would finally reveal the true scope of their capabilities. The masquerade had been perfect, but now it was time for the galaxy to learn why humans were the most dangerous species among the stars. All alien vessels, this is your final warning, Stone broadcasted across all frequencies. You came to our system planning genocide. You threatened our children and spoke of reducing our population like we were livestock. We have spent 5 decades preparing our response to such arrogance. Dr. Ana Vasquez monitored the weapons systems from her position deep within the Worldbreaker's armored core. The gravitational manipulation arrays were performing flawlessly, holding every alien ship in place with artificial gravity wells that could crush planets. The quantum disruption fields were interfering with alien technology at the subatomic level, making their most advanced systems as useless as primitive tools. All weapon systems showing optimal performance, she reported to Admiral Stone. The aliens are completely helpless. Their ships might as well be floating scrap metal. Stone nodded grimly. Then it's time for the demonstration. Target Phobos. For the primary test, Let's show them what human engineering can accomplish when we stop hiding our capabilities. The Worldbreaker's main cannon began charging with energies that registered on sensors throughout the solar system. But this wasn't merely a weapon in the conventional sense. It was a device that could manipulate the fundamental forces of reality. The charging process created ripples in space-time that alien instruments couldn't even classify. Captain Reed watched from his transformed freighter as the massive human fleet took perfect formation around the alien vessels. His ship might look like a rust bucket, but its weapons could punch through alien armor like paper. Every human vessel in the system was revealing similar capabilities, turning from pathetic cargo haulers into instruments of incredible destruction. "This is what we've been building toward," Reed told his crew over the internal communication system. "For 50 years we've endured their mockery while preparing for this day. They thought we were weak because we didn't immediately resort to violence. They're about to learn the difference between weakness and patience." The alien fleets found themselves completely paralyzed as human gravity manipulation technology held them in perfect stasis. Commander Vex tried desperately to restart his engines, but the artificial gravity well surrounding his ship was stronger than anything his people had ever encountered. His weapons were offline, his shields had collapsed, and his communications were being jammed by systems he couldn't understand. "How is this possible?" Vex demanded of his science officer. "Humans don't possess this level of technology. Our intelligence reports showed they were centuries behind galactic standards." "Sir, I believe we've been deceived," the science officer replied with growing horror. "These aren't primitive human vessels. They're using technologies more advanced than anything in our databases. The power readings suggest they've somehow learned to manipulate fundamental forces at the quantum level." Queen Zara's massive bioship shuddered as human tractor beams locked onto its hull with irresistible force. Her living vessel's nervous system was in complete chaos, unable to process the strange energies surrounding it. The Queen herself felt violated as human sensors penetrated her ship's biological defenses with casual ease. "They've been watching us," she realized with growing dread. "For decades, maybe longer. Every time we dismissed them as primitives, they were studying us, learning our weaknesses, planning for this moment." Admiral Flux of the Voidborn tried to phase-shift his vessels out of normal space, using his species' most advanced escape technology. Instead, he found his ships locked in dimensional stasis by human phase-lock systems that shouldn't exist. His energy-based crew was experiencing something they had never felt before: complete helplessness. "The humans have technologies that surpass even the ancient races," Flux transmitted to his fleet commanders. "We have gravely underestimated their capabilities. This entire species has been engaged in the most sophisticated deception in galactic history." The Worldbreaker's main weapon reached full charge, its energies creating visible distortions in the fabric of space around Mars. Admiral Stone's voice carried across all communication channels with quiet authority that made even Queen Zara's psychic presence seem weak by comparison. "You came here believing humans were defenseless prey," Stone announced. "You plan to murder half our population and enslave the survivors. You spoke of us like animals to be managed rather than people with the right to exist. Now you will witness the consequences of your arrogance." The targeting systems locked onto Phobos, Mars' largest moon. The alien fleets watched in stunned silence as human technology prepared to demonstrate power beyond their comprehension. Every sensor in the system focused on the small moon, waiting to see what humanity's hidden weapons could accomplish. "Fire!" Admiral Stone commanded with quiet finality. The beam that lanced out from the Worldbreaker wasn't made of conventional energy or matter. It was twisted space-time itself, compressed into a coherent stream that could reshape reality at the quantum level. When it struck Phobos, the moon didn't simply explode or vaporize. Instead, it split along perfectly geometric lines, as if reality itself had been programmed to follow human commands. The pieces drifted apart in impossible symmetry before being compressed into perfect spheres and arranged in orbital formation like beads on an invisible string. The demonstration lasted less than 30 seconds, but its implications would reshape galactic politics forever. The alien fleets fell completely silent as they processed what they had witnessed. Humanity hadn't just demonstrated superior firepower. They had casually manipulated a celestial body like clay in the hands of a sculptor. The technology required for such precision exceeded anything in known galactic databases by orders of magnitude. "Impossible," whispered Commander Vex, his voice barely audible over the communication channel. "No species possesses the ability to manipulate matter at that level. The energy requirements alone should have been beyond any single vessel." Queen Zara's psychic scream of terror echoed through subspace as she finally understood the scope of humanity's deception. "They've been hiding among us like predators studying prey. Every weakness we showed them, every secret we revealed, they've been recording and analyzing. We never stood a chance." Admiral Stone's voice cut through the alien panic with surgical precision. "The demonstration is complete. You now understand what human technology can accomplish when we choose to reveal it. Your fleets are completely helpless, your weapons are useless, and your ships are held in place by forces beyond your comprehension. The question now is simple: will you withdraw peacefully, or shall we demonstrate what happens to species that threaten human children?" The reformed spheres of Phobos hung in perfect orbital formation, each piece a testament to humanity's impossible mastery over the fundamental forces of reality. Commander Vex stared at the display with growing horror as his instruments tried to make sense of what they were detecting. The energy signatures were beyond anything in Krek's databases, suggesting technologies that operated on principles his species couldn't even theorize. "Sir, we're receiving massive gravitational readings from throughout the system," his sensor operator reported with barely controlled panic. "There are hundreds of human installations that we never detected. Our long-range sensors completely failed to identify them." The truth was becoming impossible to deny. For 50 years, humanity had constructed the most advanced military infrastructure in galactic history, while presenting themselves as a backward species barely capable of space flight. Every human trading vessel had been a spy platform. Every diplomatic mission had been an intelligence-gathering operation. The scope of the deception was staggering. Queen Zara felt her bioship's neural network screaming in confusion as human sensors penetrated every layer of her vessel's biological defenses. The humans weren't just scanning her ship. They were analyzing its genetic structure at the molecular level, mapping every biological system with precision that exceeded her own people's understanding of their technology. "Your Majesty, the humans have complete tactical data on our entire fleet," her tactical coordinator reported through the neural link. "They know our weapon ranges, our shield frequencies, our reactor outputs. Every specification of our technology appears to be in their databases." The Queen's chitinous plates rattled with rage and fear. "How long have they been watching us? How much do they know about the collective's military capabilities?" The answer came from Admiral Stone's voice, broadcast directly into her ship's communication systems despite every attempt to block human transmissions. "Queen Zara, we have detailed records of every Hive military installation within 300 light-years of Earth. We know your breeding schedules, your resource allocation patterns, and the genetic weaknesses of your warrior castes. We have been preparing for this conflict since first contact." Admiral Flux of the Voidborn found his energy-based consciousness trapped within human containment fields that functioned like dimensional prisons. His attempts to phase shift were blocked by technologies that manipulated space itself, holding his fleet in normal reality against their will. The implications were terrifying. Humanity had developed countermeasures for abilities that most species didn't even know existed. How did they acquire such knowledge? Flux transmitted to his subordinates through quantum-entangled communication links. The Voidborn phase shift capabilities are secrets we have guarded for millennia. No biological species should possess the theoretical framework to develop countermeasures. The human response came immediately, as if they had been monitoring even his most secure communications. "Admiral Flux, your species' dimensional manipulation creates specific quantum signatures. We have been studying those signatures since your first diplomatic contact with Earth. We also have detailed analysis of your energy matrix composition and the theoretical limits of your phase technology. Dr. Ana Vasquez monitored the alien fleet. Responses from her position within the Worldbreaker's command center. Every alien vessel was held perfectly in place by gravitational manipulation systems that could be adjusted with surgical precision. The technology allowed humanity to demonstrate overwhelming force while maintaining complete control over the situation. All alien vessels showing complete system failures, she reported to Admiral Stone. Their weapons are offline, shields are down, and propulsion systems are non-functional. They're completely at our mercy, Stone nodded grimly. Then it's time for the next demonstration. Show them what human defensive capabilities look like when we stop pretending to be vulnerable. Commander Vex made one desperate attempt to salvage the situation, launching every fighter and attack craft his fleet carried. 2,000 small vessels swarmed toward Earth in a final gambit to prove that Krek's military might could still pose a threat to humanity. His pilots were the finest in the Galactic fleet. Trained for generations in the art of space combat, they lasted exactly 47 seconds. The human defensive grid revealed itself as the Krek's fighters approached Earth's orbit. What had appeared to be empty space suddenly filled with energy barriers, automated weapon platforms, and defensive stations that materialized from perfect stealth. The attacking craft weren't destroyed so much as they were systematically neutralized by technologies that treated them like minor annoyances. Each fighter was caught in individual stasis fields, their pilots trapped but unharmed as human tractor beams guided the vessels into containment areas. Not a single shot was fired. The entire Krek strike force was simply collected like specimens for later study. The demonstration of casual, overwhelming superiority was more terrifying than any display of destructive force. Impossible, Vex whispered, as he watched his elite pilots rendered helpless without humanity even bothering to fight back. Those defensive systems. They don't exist in any galactic database. The reaction time alone suggests artificial intelligence more advanced than anything we've encountered. Captain Reed observed the alien panic from his transformed freighter and felt a mixture of satisfaction and revulsion. These were the same species that had casually murdered human colonists, that had spoken of reducing Earth's population like livestock management, that had treated humanity with contempt for half a century. Now they were learning what it felt like to be completely helpless. All human vessels prepare for final phase, Admiral Stone's voice echoed across secure channels. We will now demonstrate why humanity has earned the right to exist as equals in this galaxy. The demonstration that followed redefined the concept of technological superiority. Human terraform ships appeared throughout the system, vessels capable of converting barren asteroids into garden worlds in a matter of hours. Manufacturing platforms revealed themselves, their automated systems producing advanced technology at rates that violated every known principle of industrial capacity. Most shocking of all were the exploration vessels that emerged from deep space, returning from expeditions that had mapped and cataloged star systems far beyond the reach of any known galactic civilization. Humanity hadn't just been hiding their military capabilities. They had been secretly expanding throughout the galaxy, while maintaining the illusion of being confined to a handful of primitive colonies. The masquerade is over, Admiral Stone announced to the paralyzed alien fleets. For 50 years, humanity has endured your mockery while building the most advanced civilization in galactic history. We have explored regions of space you've never imagined, developed technologies that surpass your greatest achievements, and prepared countermeasures for every military capability you possess. Queen Zara's bioship shuddered as human scanners completed their analysis of her vessel's biological systems. The data they had gathered in minutes would have taken her own scientists years to compile. The humans weren't just technologically superior. They were operating on entirely different levels of scientific understanding. What do you want from us? She transmitted, her psychic voice carrying none of its usual arrogance. You have demonstrated complete superiority. Name your terms for our survival? Admiral Stone's response carried the weight of 50 years of human patience finally reaching its end. We want exactly what we have always wanted, to be left alone to develop our civilization in peace. The difference is that now you understand the consequences of threatening us. Earth is withdrawing from the Galactic Council, effective immediately. Human space is now off limits to all alien vessels without explicit permission. The alien fleets found themselves released from the gravity wells as human technology demonstrated its precision once again. Their ship systems came back online gradually, allowing them to retreat but making it clear that their continued functionality was entirely dependent on human mercy. You have 48 hours to withdraw all alien forces from human territory. Stone continued. Any vessel that remains after that deadline will be considered hostile and dealt with accordingly. The age of human weakness is over. The age of human expansion begins now. As alien fleets began their humiliating retreat, Captain Reed felt a mixture of satisfaction and sadness. The deception had worked perfectly, but the cost had been enormous. Thousands of human lives had been lost maintaining the illusion of weakness. And the galaxy would never again underestimate Earth's children. The hardest part is over, he told his crew as they watched alien dreadnoughts flee toward the edge of the system. Now we get to find out what happens when humanity stops hiding among the stars and takes our rightful place in the galaxy. The Galactic Council chambers had never been so quiet. Ambassador Williams walked down the central aisle with confident steps that bore no resemblance to the stammering diplomat who had endured decades of alien mockery. Behind him marched a full honor guard of human marines in power armor that made even Krek's battlesuits look primitive. The transformation was complete and utterly undeniable. Honorable delegates, Williams began, his voice carrying the authority of a species that had just redefined galactic power structures. Earth formally withdraws from the Galactic Council effective immediately. We no longer recognize this body's authority over human affairs. The remaining alien delegates sat in stunned silence as Williams placed a data crystal on the central podium. The information it contained would reshape their understanding of galactic geography forever. Humanity had secretly established colonies in over 400 star systems, built manufacturing facilities that dwarfed anything in known space, and created the most advanced military force in galactic history. The territories marked on this star chart are now designated as human space, Williams continued. Any alien vessel entering these systems without permission will be disabled and its crew detained pending diplomatic resolution. Earth has tried coexistence and been met with contempt and threats of genocide. We choose a different path. The Krek's delegate, a replacement for Commander Vex who had suffered a complete nervous breakdown after witnessing human capabilities, attempted to maintain some dignity. The Council does not recognize unilateral territorial claims. Galactic law requires— Galactic law, Williams interrupted with quiet menace, failed to protect human children from your fleets. We are no longer bound by treaties signed under threat of extinction. Humanity makes its own laws now. Captain Reed stood on the bridge of his newly revealed vessel, no longer disguised as a primitive freighter, but showing its true nature as an advanced reconnaissance platform. His mission to former Krek space had been approved at the highest levels, carrying the authority to establish humanity's first open colony in alien territory. The world below had once been a Krek's military outpost, abandoned in their hasty retreat from human space. Within hours of arrival, human terraform technology had begun converting the barren landscape into something resembling Earth's ecosystem. The speed of transformation was staggering even by human standards. Atmospheric composition optimal for human habitation, reported Dr. Lisa Park from the Environmental Systems Station. The terraform arrays are exceeding projected performance by 30%. We'll have a breathable atmosphere in 6 days instead of 2 weeks. Reed watched the planet's surface change through real-time imaging systems. Massive machines that had been disguised as mining equipment for decades were revealing their true purpose as ecosystem generators. Oceans were forming where there had been empty desert, while carefully designed weather patterns distributed moisture across the new continents. The Kreks are watching from their border systems. his tactical officer reported. They're maintaining what they consider safe distance, but their long-range sensors are recording everything we do. They want to understand our terraform capabilities. Let them watch, Reed replied. They need to understand that humanity doesn't just possess superior weapons. We can turn their abandoned worlds into paradise in less time than it takes them to plan a military campaign. Queen Zara of the Hive Collective found herself in the unprecedented position of requesting an audience with a species she had planned to enslave. Her bioships maintained respectful distance from Earth's solar system while she attempted to comprehend the scope of her miscalculation. The humans had played their deception perfectly, allowing her to believe she was the predator right up to the moment they revealed themselves as the apex species. Your Majesty, her primary advisor transmitted through the neural link. The human response to our diplomatic request has arrived. The message was brief and devastating in its implications. Queen Zara, your request for non-aggression negotiations is acknowledged. Earth will consider formal diplomatic relations when the Hive Collective has demonstrated genuine commitment to peaceful coexistence. This demonstration must include the immediate release of all enslaved populations currently held in collective territory. Further instructions will follow upon compliance. The Queen's chitinous plates rattled with frustrated rage. The humans weren't just demanding her submission. They were requiring her to abandon the foundation of Hive society. The collective had built its civilization on the labor of enslaved species for millennia, and now humanity expected her to release millions of workers simply to earn the right to negotiate. Yet the alternative was clear. Human fleets could reach Hive territory within weeks, and their demonstrated capabilities made resistance futile. The Queen had watched recordings of the Phobos demonstration dozens of times, each viewing reinforcing the terrible reality that humanity possessed technologies beyond collective comprehension. Begin the releases, she commanded through gritted mandibles. All enslaved populations are to be freed and provided with transportation to neutral territory. The humans have made their position clear. Admiral Stone reviewed reports from across human space while standing in the Worldbreaker's observation deck. The view showed Earth in the distance, no longer hiding behind a mask of primitive technology but openly displaying the defensive grids and orbital platforms that had been concealed for 50 years. The planet looked different now, proud and defiant rather than cowering under alien oversight. Status report from all sectors, Stone requested from his aide, Commander Torres. Remarkable progress, sir. Our colonies are reporting unprecedented growth rates now that we can use our real technology openly. The terraform operations are converting 12 worlds simultaneously, and our manufacturing capacity has increased by 400% since we dropped the deception. Stone nodded. With satisfaction and alien response patterns, complete withdrawal from all disputed territories. The Voidborn have retreated to their core systems and haven't been seen near human space in weeks. The Kreks are requesting trade negotiations, offering technology exchanges for access to our economic zones. The irony wasn't lost on Stone. The same species that had mocked human primitive projectile weapons were now desperately seeking access to the technologies those weapons represented. Humanity had been testing relativistic projectile systems for decades while aliens dismissed them as crude kinetic weapons. Dr. Ana Vasquez walked through the research facility that had once been hidden deep within an asteroid field. Now it operated openly, its scientists finally able to publish their discoveries without fear of revealing humanity's true capabilities. The breakthrough technologies that had made the deception possible were being refined and improved with each passing day. The quantum manipulation systems are performing beyond our wildest projections, she reported to the assembled research teams. We can now create stable gravity wells large enough to hold entire fleets, and the dimensional phase lock technology is ready for deployment across all human vessels. Her assistant, Tom Bradley, pulled up holographic displays showing the scope of human technological advancement. The aliens still don't understand how we accomplished the Phobos demonstration. Their best scientists are theorizing that we somehow acquired ancient technology from extinct civilizations. Vasquez smiled grimly. Let them think that. It's easier for them to believe we found mysterious artifacts than to accept that human engineering surpassed their greatest achievements through pure innovation. The first official trade delegation from the Traders Guild arrived at Earth Station 1 with obvious nervousness. These were merchants who had dealt with humanity for decades, always from a position of assumed superiority. Now they found themselves requesting permission to enter human space like supplicants. Seeking audience with royalty. Captain Reed met them at the docking bay, his uniform bearing insignia they had never seen before. The transformation from struggling merchant to military officer was complete and unsettling. Behind him stood Marines in powered armor that incorporated technologies the aliens couldn't identify. Welcome to Earth Station 1, Reed said formally. Your request for trade negotiations has been approved on a provisional basis. You will be escorted to designated areas and monitored during your stay. The lead trader, a nervous creature called Blix, attempted to maintain some dignity. Captain Reed, we have conducted business with your people for many years. Surely such precautions are unnecessary between trading partners. Reed's expression remained neutral. Blix, for many years you sold us inferior goods at inflated prices while assuming we were too primitive to notice. You participated in economic exploitation that kept human colonies dependent on alien suppliers. Those days are over. The escort through the station revealed the true scope of human capabilities. Automated systems that had been hidden behind crude facades now operated openly, demonstrating efficiency that made alien technology look clumsy by comparison. Manufacturing bays produced goods of impossible quality using techniques the traders couldn't comprehend. Your people have been hiding this level of advancement for decades, Blix observed with something approaching awe. The implications for galactic commerce are staggering. The implications extend far beyond commerce, Reed replied. Humanity is no longer content to be the galaxy's source of cheap labor and raw materials. We're establishing our own trade networks with species that treat us as equals. Ambassador Williams concluded his final address to the Galactic Council with words that would be remembered throughout galactic history. For 50 years, Earth endured mockery, restriction, and casual violence while building something extraordinary. We hoped that patience and diplomacy would earn us respect, but we learned that some species only understand strength. The alien delegates listened in silence as Williams outlined humanity's new position in galactic affairs. Trade would continue, but only with species that acknowledged human sovereignty. Diplomatic relations would be established based on mutual respect rather than condescending tolerance. Any threat to human civilians would be met with overwhelming force. The galaxy assumed that our restraint indicated weakness, Williams continued. You mistook our strategic patience for inability to defend ourselves. Today you know better. Humanity takes its place among the stars not as the galaxy's servants, but as a force that will reshape the balance of power among civilized species. The final demonstration came when Admiral Stone announced the launch of humanity's deep space exploration fleet. Vessels designed for journeys beyond the galactic rim began departing Earth space, their destinations including star systems that no known species had ever reached. The implications were clear. Humanity's expansion had only just begun. As alien fleets retreated to their core territories and diplomatic requests flooded Earth's communication networks. The transformation was complete. The species that had once begged for scraps from alien tables now controlled the most advanced technology in known space. The galaxy had underestimated humanity's potential, and that mistake would echo through history. Captain Reed stood on the bridge of his ship as it departed for another colonial expedition, this time to establish humanity's presence in a distant sector that aliens had never explored. Behind him, Earth's light grew smaller but no less significant. The homeworld was no longer hiding among the stars but blazing like a beacon of human achievement. The masquerade is over, he said quietly to his crew. Now we find out what humanity can accomplish when we stop pretending to be weak and start showing the galaxy what we're really capable of achieving. The age of human deception had ended. The age of human expansion among the stars had begun.